What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Superman. And so here we have Superman posed and out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's actually take a look at what he comes with. Superman does come with two sets of hands. We do get a pair of relaxed grip hands. We also do get a trigger finger for his right hand, which I don't understand why. We also do get a fist for his left hand. And then, of course, he does come with a McFarlane flight stand, which I really do like that. Other than that, Superman here doesn't come with anything else. I would have liked to see maybe an alternate head with, like, some heat vision. But honestly, that's just me. So, with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to his details. And so here we have a closer look at Superman. And I have to say, McFarlane has done a really good job on the face sculpt. Out of all the face sculpts we've had a look at, Superman is actually one of the best ones that McFarlane has done. I really do like it. It does look like Superman. It has that really strong, defining chin that Superman has. And it has a stoic, heroic feel to it, so I do like that. I also do like the fact that they were able to throw the curl in. Superman's signature curl. He isn't Superman without it. Really do like the hair on him, although it is just black plastic and it is kind of glossy. It does appear that there's a little bit of wash at the top of it, but it's not enough to bring out the detail. I'm not a fan of the fact that it's so shiny. I would have liked to see it more of a matte color. But it still does look good for Superman. Having a look at his costume, one thing I do like McFarlane did was they sculpted the S. The McFarlane Superman's S is sculpted nicely. It is done fantastic. Just the shape of it looks good. The S looks perfect. And it's a really good size. It does go all the way across his chest. And that's kind of how you expect Superman's S to be. Really do like his costume here. They did add some detailing right here. Just to have some different textures in the costume. You can see we do have like a basketball pattern right there, some smooth texture right here, some line work, and that line work does continue onto the arm as well. As you can see, there's some up here on the shoulder. Really like the detail in this Superman figure. He also does have the wrist cuffs that the Action Comics 1000 Superman actually does have, where this costume is based off of. They're the same color as his costume, although I don't remember if they're supposed to be like a metallic blue or if they match the blue. I'll have to take a look at that one more time. Really, really liking the detail right here. That's just a really nice little patch of detail that breaks up the entire smoothness of his costume. The cape is another thing I think McFarlane has done really well in. It's a softer plastic. It's not the most pliable, but it's not too heavy that it's going to weigh him down, and he actually does stand pretty well, so you don't have to worry about that making him fall back. As you can see, he does balance quite well, so I do like that. Having a look at his super trunks, you can see there's a little bit of detail right here. We do have what appears to be what looks like a seam line on each of the little looplets. I think that's pretty cool. And then we do have a line running through his belt, and that is a nice little piece of detail right there. He does have the circular belt buckle, and the paint is clean for the most part. You can see some spots right here that are a little iffy, but it's not that big of a deal, honestly. His legs, they do seem a little bit thin, but it's Superman. It looks good from the side, and we do continue that seam line right here. But from the front, I think his legs could be a little bit chunkier, a little bit thicker, because from the side, that's perfect. That's exactly how you would expect it to look. But his legs seem a little thin looking at it in the front. Having a look at his boots, you can see he has the traditional Superman boots. Really do like that. Now, this is molded in red and this is blue, so there are two different plastics right here. And they're glued surprisingly well. I have seen some where the line work just isn't clean. You can see there's a little bit of a gap right there, but it's not too bad, honestly. And then having to look at his red boots, I do like that little detail. We also do get some texturing right here at the bottom of his feet. So overall, McFarlane here has done an amazing job on this Superman figure, and that's one character I was really hoping that it would do well, and this is a pretty decent figure in his own right. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to some comparisons with other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have the McFarlane Multiverse Superman posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a Mattel Multiverse Superman. Here we have Superman posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Superman posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we have the McFarlane Superman posed next to the DC Essential Superman and the NECA 2-pack Superman. And so with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a look at his articulation. Superman does have a double ball joint in the head. He can look up only to about that far. I would have liked to see some more movement in his head, but he does look down quite a bit. Does tilt his head side to side really well, so I do love the movement he gets in his head. Does turn left and right, although when I got it out of packaging, it was resisting me. Like, I would turn it, but it would go back to stationary position, so I did get to move normally, so just work it and take your time with it. We do have a ball socket that plugs into the torso, so we do get some back movement, a little bit forward, some up, some down, so really good movement there. Does a full 360, just got to be careful for the cape. And of course, does go out to the side fairly well, I do like that. We do have a bicep swivel with Superman, which works pretty good. We have a single bend in the elbow, which could have been better. I would have liked to see a double. We also do have a wrist hinge right here. It's a ball peg, so it does have an up and down hinge, or you can rotate that for an in and out hinge. And then we get rotation on that peg. Superman also does have a ball joint in the torso. I don't know if it's a single or a double. I'm pretty sure it's just a single ball joint, but that does work fine going side to side. Does turn left and right, no problem. Using both ball joints in his torso, he can crunch forward to about there. Arches back to about there, although you start to see some resistance with the cape. He leans to the side, no problem. I do like that. And then rotates down there. Legs do go kick out to about there. They go back, go out to the side really well, do like that. We do have somewhat of a thigh swivel up high. We do have a double bend in the knee, and those knees are kind of stiff, but they do work. No boot swivel, but we do have a hinge in the ankle, which does go up and down. We also do have rotation up at the ankle, and then forward-facing pin for rocker ankle, followed by a toe hinge. So overall, this Superman has quite a bit of articulation. Really would have loved to see some double-jointed elbows on him, but for the most part, it's a really well-done figure. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Superman posed for my final thoughts, and overall this figure came out better than I had anticipated. Yes, his articulation is a little bit limited for his arms. I would have liked to see double-jointed elbows on him. And the choice of hands for him doesn't really make sense. The fist hand does, but the pistol grip hand, they could have done so much better with this Superman figure. However, it's still a really nice looking figure, and I am glad that McFarlane did make a Superman that looks this good on the first try. Over time, I expect this Superman from McFarlane to get better and better, but for now, I do have to tip my hat and say this is a really nice looking figure. If you are looking for Superman, the McFarlane series is starting to hit stores at the time I'm making this video, and they will run you about $20 to $25 depending on where you pick them up. I actually picked up my Superman from my local comic book store, so a huge shout out to Asylum Comics for getting this out to me so I could review it for you guys. If you plan on picking Superman up, and you're a Superman fan, I say go for it. There's a lot of things that this figure does right. Even though there's a little bit that he does wrong, I still think the positives outweigh the negatives. And if you don't like the figure, you can always return it and buy something you want more than this Superman. That's just me. You don't have to commit to a purchase. You can always sell it or return it. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other DC Multiverse videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you'd like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, don't forget to check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos. And as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.